Under the eaves of the constantly open convenience store, two figures huddled, their legs drawn up, like scared animals trying to escape the biting cold. They were Ba and Lam, two longtime friends. The past 2 months had been hell for them. Their company had gone bankrupt and dissolved. And the bad luck didn't stop there. They'd pooled their money to rent a space for a food business, paid a 50% deposit, only to realize upon arrival that they had been scammed by the broker. It had been 3 nights now. Drained by sadness and despair, they kept coming back to this convenience store, buying liquor and drowning their sorrows. Conveniently, it was open 24/7, so they could stay as long as they wished. Lam, holding a full glass of wine, sighed wearily. Ba, maybe we should just give up. Let's find some temporary work. We can't find that swindler, and I'm just too exhausted. Ba shook his head, refusing. No way. What kind of job would we even find now? Go work in a factory? Or be waiters? That would be a waste of all the effort we put into finding suppliers and perfecting our recipes. Giving up now would be for nothing. It'd be such a waste. Even worse than losing those tens of millions we were scammed out of. But you still want to continue? Lam asked. Of course, don't you? Lam fell silent at Ba's question. It was true, he was thinking of quitting. Their remaining capital was less than 20 million dong. With Tet Lunar New Year approaching, he didn't know how he'd go back to his hometown this year. All right, I understand, Ba said. If you want to stop, I'll keep looking for a place and do it myself. I won't force you. Lam sighed and shook his head. Don't say that. It's like riding a tiger. Getting off now would be both painful and regrettable. Fine, I'll take one more chance with you. If we fail, then it means we weren't destined for this, and it'll be easier to let go. Well said, cheers. Ba raised his glass, and Lam nodded in agreement. The atmosphere was no longer bleak or gloomy. They finished the bottle of wine and returned to their shared room. And indeed, the heavens never close all paths for anyone. The very next morning, while Lam was still sound asleep, Ba gently patted his shoulder to wake him. Hey, wake up, we have good news. Heaven has helped us. Lam squinted his sleep-filled eyes, groggy. What is it? I don't understand. Look, Ba said, pointing to his phone screen for his friend to see. Inside, there was an ad to rent an entire ground floor space with a front yard and an awning, located on a busy street near the city center. The surprising part was the price. Only 5 million dong a month, with just 1 month's deposit, no long-term contract required. With such a good deal, Lam was a bit suspicious. What if we get scammed again? Don't worry, Ba reassured him. I called the number and told them we wanted to see the place. If we like it, we can pay at the end of the month. But why is it so cheap? The owner said he has to work far away and can't frequently care for his parents, who live upstairs. They have full amenities like a kitchen, water, and a restroom, so it doesn't affect the downstairs space. This price is both for rent and for asking us to look after the old couple. If anything happens, like a power outage, we can help. But won't that be inconvenient? And we're renting it to sell food. Won't the noise bother the elderly? I asked about that too, Ba replied. He said it's fine, as long as we don't operate too late or play loud music. Sounds okay to me. All right then, let me get up, brush my teeth, and we'll go check it out. At 9 p.m., the two arrived on their motorbike at house number 17, Than Nien Street. The street was still bustling and crowded. In fact, just over 50 meters away was a high school. If their Korean food stall model worked, high school students would almost certainly become their main customers. Without further hesitation, Ba rang the doorbell, waiting nervously. From behind the iron gate, a figure slowly emerged, an elderly woman, perhaps 70 years old. Ba, having prepared himself, bowed respectfully and asked, "Excuse me, ma'am, may I ask if this is Mr. Tuan's house?" "Oh, yes, it is. You must be the 2 young men my son called me about earlier, saying someone was coming to see the place, right?" "Yes, ma'am. Is Mr. Tuan home?" "Tuan, he's always traveling. Sometimes he comes home for less than half a day a month. People often don't believe me, but sometimes I wish I could forget his face entirely. Come in, both of you. I'll show you the space and then we'll have some ginger tea. It's cold tonight, a warm drink will do you good." "Yes, ma'am," they replied. Following the landlady, they stepped inside. It was exactly as described in the post. Everything matched, even appearing more spacious than the attached photos. While chatting, they heard the old woman introduce her family. "My name is Tai, and I've owned this house since after liberation. My husband, Hugh, was a soldier during the war. A bomb fragment got lodged in his vocal cords. Because of that, he can't speak. He can only write notes or use gestures. We have one son, Tuan. He's very smart, graduated with honors, and studied abroad in America for 5 years. Now he's a sales director for a foreign company, so he's always away on business." Just then, another person descended the stairs, a tall, thin, dark-skinned man, seemingly the same age as Mrs. Tai. "Ah, this is my husband," Mrs. Tai announced. She waved to him. "Dear, these 2 young men are here to rent our downstairs space." Mr. Hugh nodded, offering a friendly smile. He ambled out, carrying a watering can to tend to the plants. "He loves gardening," Mrs. Tai explained. "Sometimes he sits all day just looking at the plants, never bored." Lamb interjected, "Yes, ma'am, he's so peaceful." Returning to the main issue, after inspecting everything, both decided to rent the ground floor to open their restaurant. They discussed a few minor details like electricity, water, cleaning fees, and helpers, and everything was settled. Mrs. Tai placed a key on the table and said, "This is the main gate key, you 2 can keep it. We only have 2 keys for the house, so it might be a bit inconvenient." "Yes, ma'am, we understand." After finishing their ginger tea, they felt less chilly. They quickly asked to leave to prepare for moving into their new space. Back at their old place, Lamb dropped his bag and collapsed onto the bed. "Ba, heaven has helped us. Ba, I even want us to live there permanently." "Live there?" Ba asked. "Yeah, don't you think it's too big for our needs? Plus, there's that small room, a utility room. If we combine living there with paying rent, we'd save money, and we wouldn't have to spend on gas commuting between the 2 places." "Oh, you're right, I hadn't thought of that," Ba said. "If we're renting such a good deal of a house, and we only sell during the day and leave, what if they need something at night? How would we explain that to Mr. Tuan?" "Exactly. Living there would be reasonable and convenient for both sides. But we'll have to call and let the owners know, because you didn't mention the room earlier." "I know, don't worry." With that, Ba directly called Mrs. Tai, and of course, she had no reason to refuse. After listing all the tasks, the 2 went out to enjoy a hearty meal, preparing for the next day when they would begin moving into house number 17. The next morning, Ba called his old landlord to give notice, while Lamb bought 3 or 4 large cardboard boxes. They didn't have many belongings, so packing only took a little over an hour. Around noon, they hired a small truck and transported their belongings to house number 17. Mr. and Mrs. Tai were also very friendly and welcoming, waiting for them and helping them move their smaller items. "Oh, you boys have so few things?" Mrs. Tai asked. "Yes, ma'am. We don't buy much, and we're just guys, not really into buying tons of clothes," Lamb replied. "No, I mean, how are you planning to set up your restaurant? I don't see any tables, chairs, or kitchen counters." Ba scratched his head. "Ma'am, everything happened so quickly, we haven't prepared yet. We're planning to go shopping this afternoon." "Oh, is that so? I have some old friends from my husband's unit. They also sell tables and chairs. Would you like me to introduce you?" "Oh, that would be wonderful. Could you please give us their phone numbers?" "No need, I'll call them for you. Sometimes if I just give you the number, they might not give you a discount," Mrs. Tai said. She immediately called her husband's friends. She even enthusiastically gave directions and accompanied Lamb to the location. After 3 p.m., a truck arrived. Inside the truck were 15 sets of tables and chairs, decorative string lights, and an embossed sign. Since they only planned to operate during the day, Lamb didn't choose bright spotlights. Ba and Mr. Hugh had been busy setting up the kitchen space, building a partition to separate it from the outside area of the restaurant. All the cooking utensils had been bought beforehand, so they didn't need to purchase more. Just then, Lamb stepped out of the truck. "Did you buy everything? How much was it?" 300,000 dong for a set, including tables and chairs. Can you believe it? Ba exclaimed. "What, really?" "I'm not kidding. It's all thanks to Mrs. Tai here. Otherwise, they would have charged us an arm and a leg." Thank you very much, ma'am, Ba and Lam said in unison. It's nothing, don't be strangers. In the beginning stages of a business, you save whatever you can. That's how you build up capital. Yes, ma'am, they agreed. All right, it's getting late. Go arrange the tables and chairs. We still need to do the opening ceremony, you know. Opening ceremony, what's that? Lam asked. Oh my, were you planning to just open for business like that? Mrs. Tai chuckled. Ba scratched his head. Excuse us, ma'am, we don't know anything about that. Yes, ma'am, all right, I'll help you. One of you come with me to the market to buy things. I don't need anything fancy, just sincerity. Yes, ma'am, I'll go, Lam interjected, offering to go to the market with Mrs. Tai. By late afternoon, the two returned, carrying bags of fruit, incense, votive paper, a boiled chicken, and several pre-made sticky rice and pork sausage portions. At exactly 6 p.m., all the items were neatly arranged on a round table. Ba and Lam held incense sticks, following the prayer Mrs. Tai had written for them. Namo Amitabha Buddha, we humbly bow to the 9 directions of heaven. We humbly bow to the 10 directions of all Buddhas. We humbly bow to the gods of the 5 directions, 5 elements, dragon veins, god of wealth, kitchen god, and all venerable deities. Today is December 10, 2023. We sincerely offer incense, candles, fruits, and light this stick of incense before the altar. We sincerely wish to open our business of food and beverages. We offer this platter of offerings and respectfully invite the ruling deities of the year, the ruling deities of this place, the guardian spirits of the land, the kitchen god, and all guardian spirits overseeing this area. We invite all of you to partake of these offerings, bless and protect your humble servants, so that our business may prosper with much luck and every endeavor be smooth. After finishing the prayer, and as the incense burned down, everyone tidied up, using the chicken and sticky rice for dinner. Gathered around the table, everyone laughed and chatted merrily. Around 9 p.m., all preparations were complete. Ba surveyed the scene, then quietly prayed, Namo Amitabha Buddha. Lam immediately interjected, Hey Ba, go take a shower. It's my turn, I'm so sleepy already. Oh, I know. Ba grabbed a change of clothes and headed into the bathroom. Though not overly spacious, it was fully equipped and clean, just like the rest of the house. Ba turned on the faucet, letting the water wash over his sweat-soaked body, refreshing him greatly. Yet, Ba couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching him. The feeling was so distinct and unsettling that he abruptly turned around to check his surroundings. Of course, no one was there. Convinced he was just overthinking things, he continued his shower as usual. A moment later, Ba emerged from the bathroom, wrapped in a large towel. He used a fan to dry his hair while calling out to his friend. Lam, I'm done. Go take a shower quickly. We still need to prepare the dipping sauces, kimchi, and all these things for the next 3 or 4 days. When his friend didn't answer, Ba walked closer and realized Lam had already fallen asleep, a soft snore escaping him. Ba chuckled to himself. This guy, he just said he was going to shower and now he's asleep. Assuming his friend was exhausted after a long day of running errands, Ba didn't disturb him. He sat down to dry his hair, then went out to mix spices and chili powder for the kimchi. By past 1 a.m., everything was finally done. He placed the 2 jars of salted kimchi carefully, feeling a thrill of excitement. He returned to the room. Lam was still snoring softly. Ba, however, couldn't sleep. He wondered if it was the excitement for tomorrow or something else. He lay on the bed, eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling. All he wanted was for dawn to break quickly so he could start his new venture. Time passed quickly. It was almost 3 a.m. Ba decided he'd probably just stay awake until morning, so he didn't bother trying to sleep anymore. He got up and was about to open the door to step out, look at the 2 kimchi jars on the porch, and smoke a cigarette. As Ba got out of bed and pushed the door open, looking out, the dim streetlights cast shadows on the yard where tables and chairs were already set up. Ba imagined the place filled with customers. He felt like a child right now. He was holding a pack of cigarettes, about to step out to light one, when he was startled by footsteps coming from upstairs. It didn't take long for Ba to recognize the figure descending the stairs as Mr. Hugh, Mrs. Tai's husband, with his tall, thin build. Ba spoke softly. Mr. Hugh, you're not asleep yet, sir. At Ba's call, Mr. Hugh flinched and stopped. With a friendly smile, he gestured towards the garden and then put a hand to his mouth, as if understanding. Ba raised the cigarette pack. Indeed, the two men connected easily. They both stepped outside, Ba offering Mr. Hugh a cigarette. Ba continued to ask, "It's early, why aren't you getting more sleep?" Mr. Hugh shook his head, pointing to a nearby bonsai tree. Seeing Ba's confused expression, he took out his phone and typed something. Then, a voice emerged from the phone. "I saw a lot of dew and was afraid the plants would get damaged, so I came to check." "Oh, you use technology to communicate now? That's really modern," Ba exclaimed. Mr. Hugh typed another message and played it. "Tuan taught me this. Although it's not my own voice, it makes communication easier. The only thing is, sometimes my wife doesn't like it. She finds the voice strange, so she gets scared." "Yes, sir, but it's so convenient. In this modern age, we should definitely use technology," Ba agreed. Mr. Hugh nodded. The two men smoked their cigarettes and chatted. Ba was also inspired by Mr. Hugh's stories of old battles. At 5 a.m., Ba woke Lam up. The two groggily went to the market to buy beef, seafood, and various fresh vegetables. They were excited about all the fresh ingredients. Back at house number 17, as they pulled out the ingredients to the sidewalk, several groups of students were already passing by, pointing and chatting. Lam quickly went out to invite them. "Hey kids, it's our grand opening today. There are discounts. Come support us. Lots of free food with promotions." He wasn't sure if the students would come, but their faces showed some excitement. And after more than an hour of waiting, the first customers finally arrived. By noon, a dozen more students came in to eat Korean-style snacks. Ba was busy in the kitchen preparing food, while Lam was outside serving and greeting the cheerful customers. The first day passed quickly. It wasn't as tiring or difficult as Lam had imagined, and the success far exceeded Ba's dreams. In total, over 50 customers visited the restaurant, bringing in over 10 million dong on the first day. After cleaning and washing the outdoor area, Mrs. Tai came downstairs. Seeing Ba and Lam counting money, she asked, "Everything all right?" "More than all right, ma'am. We're so grateful to you and Mr. Hugh. If it weren't for your place, we wouldn't have even dreamed of opening a restaurant," Ba said. Lam added, "Yes, ma'am. Our neighbors are also very friendly and supportive. Everyone says we're lucky to have such cheerful landlords who get along well with the community." "You say that, but I don't dare accept such praise," Mrs. Tai chuckled. "I've always been like this. I like helping others, it gives me peace of mind. All right, go wash up. You probably haven't had a chance to eat anything, right?" "Yes, ma'am. We didn't expect so many customers. We ran out of food. We were just about to cook some instant noodles." "Instant noodles? What for? My husband and I cooked a lot of rice. I'll go heat it up and bring it down for you. You two go wash up." "Oh my goodness, ma'am, you're too kind to us," Ba exclaimed. "It's nothing. We live in the same house. I consider you like my own children. Your words are quite similar to what my son Tuan would say." "No, ma'am, it's too much. We've already received so much help from you and Mr. Hugh," Lam protested. "We haven't even offered you a meal from the restaurant yet, and now we're eating your homemade food." "It's nothing, don't be so polite. If you two don't come down to eat, you'll hurt the feelings of these two old folks. Besides, I can't eat spicy food or Korean seasonings, so don't bother cooking them for us next time." Of course, after such an explanation, Ba and Lam couldn't refuse anymore. They simply nodded their thanks and hurried to wash up, while Mrs. Tai reheated the food. Ba was the first to enter the room to shower. As he took off his clothes, he muttered, "Today was truly a dream start. Thank you, Heaven and Buddha. Please bless our restaurant with prosperity." And then, as the sound of the shower spray just began, once again, he felt as if someone was watching him. He turned sharply, but his eyes only met a plain white wall and a strange mirror. Muttering to himself about this feeling, Ba decided to turn his back to the wall and face the mirror while showering, feeling less uneasy than before. When he was done, it was Lam's turn. He had barely closed the bathroom door for 5 seconds when he shouted, "Ba, what kind of shower did you take? There's no water left." "What?" Ba rushed in to check, and indeed, no water was coming out of the faucet. He stammered, "I don't know, it was running fine just now. Maybe you closed the valve for a moment and try turning it on again." Lam grimaced and followed his friend's advice. 5 minutes passed. He reached out and turned the faucet again. A gurgling sound echoed, a warm flow, giving Ba a glimmer of hope that the water was coming. But what came out of the faucet was thick, dark red water, reeking of alum. "Oh my God, something's wrong." Ba opened the bathroom door and stumbled out, heading upstairs. He stopped at the door separating the first and second floors and politely knocked. Mrs. Tai, just a moment, I'm almost done." "Oh no, ma'am, there's a problem downstairs," Ba said. "What's wrong?" Mrs. Tai asked. "The water in the bathroom is acting strange, like it's contaminated with alum. Don't you use clean water here, ma'am?" "Of course we do. We have a complete clean water system installed. Or maybe I should call someone to come down and check." "Yes, ma'am." Very quickly, Mr. Hugh emerged, opened the door, and went downstairs with Ba to check. Inside the bathroom, Mr. Hugh squinted at the faucet. Lamb had already moved away from the water, but his body was somewhat stained with the alum. Mr. Hugh looked at the faucet without any surprise. Instead, he took out his phone and typed, "You two don't have to worry. Just leave it for a moment and it will go away on its own. It's usually quick." "How long does it usually take?" Ba asked. And just as he finished speaking, the water in the shower faucet did return to normal. Mr. Hugh pointed to a valve on the wall and said, "From now on, whenever it happens again, just close that valve for about 5 to 10 minutes and it will return to normal quickly. Hurry up and shower, then eat dinner. The rice I cooked is delicious, eat a lot." After Mr. Hugh left, Ba also went out to let Lamb continue his shower. When Lamb finished, the two emerged from the bathroom to find Mr. and Mrs. Tai already bringing down a tray of food and soup. Ba quickly pulled out the wooden table and 4 chairs. A few minutes later, the dining table was fully laid out. The aroma of the hot food wafted into Ba's nose, making his stomach rumble even more. But with his thoughtful nature, he went to the restaurant's kitchen and quickly made a few glasses of fresh lime juice to offer to Mr. and Mrs. Tai. When everything was ready, Mrs. Tai smiled and said, "Today, we congratulate you on a prosperous grand opening. You two hurry and eat, don't be shy." "Yes, ma'am," they replied. The 4 sat down at the table, and the hearty meal began. Ba scooped some rice into his bowl, took a bite of the braised pork, and exclaimed, "Oh my goodness, Mrs. Tai, this is so delicious. What kind of meat is this?" Mrs. Tai, using a ladle to scoop a little more braising sauce into Ba's bowl, smiled and said, "It's pork, but I bought a good cut and parboiled it first, so it remains tender and flavorful. I think I need to take a cooking class from you, ma'am. I thought I was a good cook, but now I feel like I'm just a frog at the bottom of a well." "Stop flattering me. You two eat until you're full," Mrs. Tai said. "Yes, ma'am," they replied. The dinner ended with 2 full stomachs. Ba offered to wash the dishes, but Mrs. Tai wouldn't let him. She told them they were tired today and should rest. Then, she and her husband slowly carried the dishes back upstairs to the 2nd floor. This was good, giving them privacy and not disturbing Mr. and Mrs. Tai's quiet space. At 9 p.m., Ba and Lamb went into their room and lay on the bed. Ba continued to praise the irresistible dishes Mrs. Tai had cooked. Lamb nodded in agreement, adding, "I really like Mr. and Mrs. Tai's life. They have money, they can do whatever they want, eat whatever they want, play whatever they want. It would be satisfying if we could achieve that too." "If that's your goal, then work hard. But wait a minute, you don't even have a girlfriend yet, and you're thinking about marriage? Sometimes, we might just end up in a nursing home together, you know." At Ba's words, Lamb smiled a meaningful smile. As if sensing something, Ba probed, "Hey, are you hiding something from me? Spill it." "What are you talking about?" This time, Ba's intuition was correct. He frowned, raised an eyebrow, and asked, "Who did you flirt with?" Lamb sat up, laughing, and began to tell his story. "This morning, a group of first customers came to open the shop. Do you remember the girl in the white dress? Well, guess what?" "What? Don't tell me she's your girlfriend." "Hey, don't be silly. She's pretty and looks like a rich young lady, and she truly is a young lady. And she's also my girlfriend." "Oh my God, how did you manage to get her?" "That's the masculine charm. Let me tell you, her family owns a big company. She even asked me to work there today, but I'm working with you, so I didn't go." "Holy cow, you keep surprising me. So now I'm the only single one, so sad," Ba lamented. Don't worry, my friends have lots of good connections. I'll play matchmaker for you, okay? Really? Of course, you're not joking, are you? Ba said excitedly, rubbing his hands together. Don't disappoint me. Oh, wait, let's talk about that later. There's a bigger issue now. What's the problem? Do we need to hire staff for serving and washing dishes? Because if it continues like this, I'm afraid the two of us won't be able to handle it. Right now, the restaurant only operates during the day. Soon, if we also open in the evening, where will we find the strength to do it? Ba shook his head. Calm down. Let's wait a few more days to see how sales go. I also have an idea, so I won't let you struggle alone. After their discussion, both began to drift off to sleep, ready to start a new workday tomorrow morning. The next morning brought another busy day. Even more customers came than yesterday. There was never an empty table for more than half a minute. Students even waited for takeout. As a result, by past 3 p.m., they ran out of ingredients. Ba had to put up a "closed early" sign filled with immense regret. He wished he had bought a lot more earlier that morning. Lamb, on the other hand, was joyfully cleaning up. His smile was infectious. He even had a new outfit hanging in the room. Ba noticed this and was curious. Are you going somewhere? Today we closed early, so I'm meeting my girlfriend. She said she has a gift for me to celebrate. Lucky you. I wonder if anyone will keep their promise from last night, Ba teased. Of course I will, but today I'm only going with her. My friends aren't coming, so I won't ask you to join. Maybe another time, okay? Fine, I'll stay home alone and be sad, Ba replied. Oh, stop acting like you're so innocent. You'll probably end up going out drinking anyway. Probably not. I need to calculate the accounts, income, and expenses and find a place to buy a freezer. Soon, to avoid situations like today, we'll stock up on ingredients for 2 or 3 days. The quality might not be 100% perfect, but it won't be too bad. You're already thinking so far ahead. You've really helped me a lot today. What do you want for a late-night snack? I'll buy it for you, anything. You go clean up. I'm going to buy some ingredients to cook dinner to treat Mr. and Mrs. Tai. Oh, that's a good idea. I probably can't eat, though. After dinner, cooked by Ba, Mr. and Mrs. Tai praised his cooking profusely and didn't forget to ask about Lamb. Ba sighed and said, he's already booked with his girlfriend, ma'am and sir. Soon, the restaurant might just be me alone. Oh, really? Mrs. Tai exclaimed, shocked. That's a shame. I was just kidding. But if he gets serious with that rich girl, I'll be both happy and worried for him. Why worried? You two don't know, but Lamb's family back in his hometown isn't very wealthy. If that girl's family rejects him because they're not evenly matched, it could cause a lot of heartache and complications. What? Is that still a thing these days, evenly matched? No, ma'am, it's not you two who are old-fashioned. Many people still think that way. Besides, I have a cousin whose wife is from a rich family, and it's a difficult life. That's true, but Lamb is cheerful, friendly, and understanding. He's not that bad. Yes, ma'am. A moment later, after closing everything up, Ba lay alone in his room and felt a bit tired. He really needed staff. Only 2 days, and his arms and legs were already sore. After lying down for a while, Ba suddenly grimaced. He vaguely caught a whiff of a foul smell. It wasn't pungent, but it was persistent and unpleasant. Initially, Ba thought it was due to unwashed clothes or personal items. But after checking everywhere, it wasn't. What is that smell? It's so unsettling. About half an hour later, the foul smell vanished. Just then, the room door opened, and Lamb entered, his face beaming with the joy of being with his beloved. You're back already, are you? I thought you were staying out all night. No, I just had dinner with her and took a short walk. What did you do tonight? Did you invite Mr. and Mrs. Tai for dinner? Yes, they praised you a lot. What did they say? Nothing special. Tomorrow, post a job ad for a server and a chef, okay? Do we need one now? I'm so exhausted. I feel like I'm about to get sick, Lamb complained. Oh my God, if we close for a day or two now, our customers will leave. I can still handle it, but we definitely need more staff, starting the day after tomorrow. All right, I'll post the ad right away, so we can interview them tomorrow. Okay. With that, Ba was so tired that he quickly drifted into a deep sleep. The alarm clock blared at 4:30 a.m., pulling Ba awake. but his health really was alarming. Ba heard the alarm but couldn't lift himself to turn it off. Not only that, he felt incredibly heavy, as if an invisible force was pressing down on him. Moreover, whenever he turned, he caught the same foul smell as last night. But this time, it seemed more intense. "What is this?" he stammered, grimacing, then nudged Lamb to wake him up. Lamb also woke up groggily. He turned off the alarm clock and grumbled, "What now?" "It stinks, don't you smell anything?" "Smell what?" Lamb sniffed repeatedly but quickly shook his head. "I don't smell anything, it's normal." However, Lamb's concern quickly turned to Ba. He noticed his friend's health was not good at all. Not only that, Ba's forehead was burning hot. "Oh my God, you have a fever. Ba, listen to me, take a day off. What if I get sick helping you and then you get even sicker?" Ba intended to argue, but he was truly exhausted. So, after a moment, he nodded, agreeing with his friend. After lying down for a while, Ba drifted back to sleep. "Lamb, are you there?" Ba opened his eyes, but Lamb was still asleep. Not hearing a reply from his friend, Ba once again caught the foul smell, wafting directly into his nose. "It stinks. Why is it like this again?" His body felt a bit stronger, so Ba groggily got out of bed. But after searching the entire room, he still couldn't find the source of the strange smell. And then, when he opened the room door, he saw Mr. Hugh watering plants. He immediately walked over and asked, "Mr. Hugh, Mr. Hugh." At his call, Mr. Hugh turned, raising his eyebrows to ask, "Uncle, it seems like something dead is in our house. It smells awful. Could you please check for me?" Mr. Hugh's face furrowed slightly, but he quickly waved his hand, signaling that he didn't smell anything. Ba sighed internally, remembering Lamb had said the same thing. "Then my nose must really have a problem. I'll go see a doctor when I have some free time." Ba waved goodbye to Mr. Hugh and turned back to his room. After Ba left, Mr. Hugh immediately abandoned his half-finished task of watering plants and ran straight upstairs. He opened the door, pulled his wife by the hand, and gestured something. Mrs. Tai seemed to understand, whispering, "He smells it again." Mr. Hugh nodded. Mrs. Tai then gasped, "That's great. We're almost there, dear." The couple hugged, a sinister smile on their faces. A day passed. After resting, Ba's body had somewhat recovered. Lamb was still out with his girlfriend since the afternoon. It was now past 10 p.m. and it was getting late. Ba lay on the bed, waiting for his friend. After taking the medicine he bought from the store, the foul smell was also gone. He muttered, "Strange, it's already this late and he's not back yet." Ba grew anxious and called Lamb. But after calling a dozen times, no one answered. Helpless, he had no choice but to keep waiting. This wait didn't last long. By past 11 p.m., drowsiness suddenly overwhelmed Ba, and he fell asleep. It wasn't until almost dawn that he woke up with a start. Groggy, he looked at the clock and mumbled, 4 a.m. already. Lamb, as was his habit, called out his name and looked beside him. But Ba realized he was alone in the room. He didn't see the jacket his friend had worn earlier. That meant Lamb hadn't returned all night. Ba frowned and quietly grumbled. "This guy, he's so obsessed with playing around. Is he planning to close the shop again today?" As he thought, he reached for his phone. The screen lit up with 2 missed calls from Lamb. So Lamb had called to inform him while he was sleeping, but he hadn't heard. Back to the present after several more calls, Ba still couldn't reach Lamb. Helpless, he lay back down on the bed, disheartened, and continued his sleep. When dawn broke, Ba still opened the restaurant, even without Lamb. By 8 a.m., the first customers had arrived, but Lamb was still nowhere to be seen. Fortunately, 2 students came to ask for work. Otherwise, Ba would have been completely overwhelmed. In the early afternoon, taking advantage of the reduced customer traffic, he called his friend, his voice filled with extreme anger. However, all he heard were meaningless beeps. Damn it, this guy is really ditching his friend for a girl. As the day drew to a close, Ba began to worry more about his friend than he was angry. That's because, up until now, no matter where Lamb went, he would always say something beforehand. But this time, he had been out for almost a full day. Not only that, Ba felt a bit helpless as he didn't know any information about Lamb's girlfriend. He hadn't even had time to ask her name or where she lived. Lamb, oh Lamb. Finally, Ba decided he would go look for Lamb. However, he searched all the places he thought his friend might go, but he didn't find Lamb anywhere. The most plausible and also the worst-case scenario he could imagine was that Lamb had been in some kind of accident. Hearing this, he immediately rushed to the city hospital and private medical facilities to check the list of emergency cases. At 9 p.m., Ba left the International Hospital. This was the last hospital on his list, and of course there was no information about Lam. Helpless, Ba slumped to the ground, feeling both worried and angry. Lam, oh Lam, where are you? Frantic, Ba then hailed a taxi to the police station to report the incident. Upon arrival, due to an accident and a brawl, the police had to prioritize those cases. While waiting for his turn, Ba looked around and then towards the bulletin board in the room. This board usually displayed all announcements, and what was often pinned there were missing person posters. Suddenly, he imagined Lam's picture appearing there. If that happened, what would he do? What would become of the restaurant? "Hello, sir," a voice interrupted Ba's thoughts. He flinched and turned to see a rather young police officer. He stood up and stammered, "Yes, hello, sir. I came to report something." "Please have a seat. Just tell us what happened," the officer said. Ba nodded quickly and recounted his friend's disappearance. After listening, the officer's face remained calm. It was understandable. In such a large area, so many things happened every day. Furthermore, Lam's disappearance was still quite recent. Afraid that his urgent plea would be ignored, Ba added, "Lam has never been this silent. I've called him all day, and he hasn't picked up. Now I can't contact him at all." "We will record the information. But don't you know who your friend went out with or her name?" "Yes, sir. It might sound unbelievable, but I don't really care or get curious about my friend's girlfriends. I only remember her face." "The information you've provided is quite vague, but we will send out a notice to other units in the city. Please leave your contact information, and we'll call you if anything comes up." "Yes, sir," Ba nodded, thanked the officer, and stood up. By the time he left, it was past 10 p.m. The lights upstairs were off. He thought to himself, Mr. and Mrs. Hugh must both be asleep by now. All day, they had also asked about Lam, but Ba hadn't dared to tell them his friend was missing. He only said Lam was busy with personal matters. To avoid disturbing them and out of fear of them asking more questions about his friend, Ba gently opened the gate. Upon entering his room, he still held a faint hope that Lam had returned, that he was lying in bed, softly snoring. But no, there was no one inside. Ba didn't close the door completely, just left it ajar, then slumped onto the bed. "Lam, oh Lam, where are you?" Having worked all day and then wandering the streets, fatigue quickly overwhelmed Ba. He didn't even shower, just changed into a clean set of clothes and lay sprawled on the bed. In his daze, he saw the room door slowly open, accompanied by a shadowy figure entering. "Lam, is that you? You're finally back?" Ba whispered hoarsely. He received no reply from the figure. Instead, a strange action occurred. The shadowy figure approached, standing beside his bed, staring intensely at him. It was then that Ba realized this was not Lam, for the figure was taller, stronger, and more muscular. The presence of a stranger in the house made him immediately jump up. "Who is that?" Under the dim light from the bedside lamp, the figure became clearer. It was indeed not Lam. "A thief!" Ba retreated defensively, but the man showed no sign of wavering. He shook his head, a slight smile on his face. "This is my house. I should be asking who you are." At this, Ba began to understand, stammering, "So you're Mr. Tuin, Mrs. Ty's son." "That's right, you know me." "Of course. Didn't I call you about renting the place the other day? Don't you remember?" "I'm probably too busy with work. Do you like it here?" "Yes, it's good." "Do you want to stay here forever?" "You're joking. It's late. I need to go to sleep." "Oh, you're leaving already? Why?" "I can't stay for long right now. I'll probably leave in a few days." "Oh, really? Mrs. Ty must be happy." Tuin nodded, turned, and walked out. Ba took out his phone to check for any news about Lam. Still nothing. With a sigh, Ba pulled the blanket up high and fell back asleep. Dawn broke. This was the second morning Lam was missing. The worry in Ba's mind became increasingly clear. He felt almost no motivation to work. The police had called, asking for more information about Lam's hometown. However, the hope of finding him was quite slim. Around noon, the phone rang, startling Ba. Even though he was preparing a customer's order, he quickly ran to grab his phone. His heart was full of hope, but the name on the screen was Customer Service Hotline. It was probably just another service package promotion. Ba was disappointed and quickly hung up. A deep sigh of frustration escaped him. Ba grabbed his head, pulling at his hair. Lamb, oh Lamb, where are you? Please come back, or at least just call to let me know you're okay. You can go anywhere, but please don't be silent like this. But as if by magic, just as he finished speaking, the phone rang again. This time, it wasn't the customer service hotline, but Lamb. Ba answered with unbelievable speed. He practically screamed, Lamb, where have you been for almost 2 days? Do you know how worried I've been? Lamb's voice came through, but it was faint and weak. Ba only heard this much before the call was cut off. No matter how many times Ba called back, he couldn't connect. Before, when he couldn't reach Lamb, his worry was one thing. But now, hearing his friend's weak voice, the worry escalated to a much more serious level. He immediately called the police to report his friend's strange call. However, this information wasn't very valuable, and on the contrary, only made the situation more complicated. He returned to his half-finished work, preparing food like a soulless corpse. More than ever, he felt no motivation to work. After finishing the last customer's order, he put up the "closed" sign and told the 2 staff members to clean up and prepare to leave early. Ba truly wanted to go look for his friend, but where? He threw his apron into a corner and walked into his room. He collapsed onto the bed, sighing heavily. Ba, a knock on the door echoed, followed by Mrs. Ty's voice. Ba sat up and called out, "What is it, ma'am?" "Nothing. Are you closing early today?" "Yes, ma'am, I'm a bit tired." "Tired? Are you sick? I have medicine, I'll get you a dose." "No, thank you, ma'am, but I won't take it. I'll be fine after resting for a bit." "Is that true? Really, I'm fine." "All right then, you just rest. Don't worry about going to the market or anything tonight. Just have dinner with my husband and me, okay?" "Thank you, ma'am." With that, Ba returned to his rest. After only a few minutes of sitting, he drifted into sleep. In his dream, Ba saw his friend Lamb standing in the room. However, Lamb's demeanor was strange. His skin was pale, his lips dry and cracked, and on his chest there seemed to be a wound with quite a bit of blood seeping through his t-shirt. Lamb stood there, extending his hand as if begging for help. Startled, Ba woke up with a jolt. He took heavy breaths, realizing it was all just a dream, a nightmare. Wiping the sweat from his face, Ba whispered, "Lamb, you must be safe." At 7 p.m., Ba had finished showering. Outside, Mr. and Mrs. Ty had also prepared dinner. Tonight's meal included braised pork, minced meat soup, vegetables, and stir-fried liver with bean sprouts. Mrs. Ty served Ba rice and introduced the dishes. "Today, I went to the market and got a fresh batch of meat and offal. You have to eat it now. It won't be as good if you wait." "Yes, ma'am," Ba nodded, taking the rice, but he didn't feel enthusiastic about eating anymore. After finishing a bowl of rice, Mrs. Ty began to ask, "It's been 2 days now. I haven't seen Lamb. Has he gone back to his hometown?" "Ah, yes, ma'am. That guy, as soon as he found a new girlfriend, he left right away. It's tough for me, alone, managing the restaurant." Ba felt that Mrs. Ty had hit a raw nerve. He hadn't intended to share, but for some reason, he felt helpless and couldn't hide it anymore. "Mrs. Ty, Lamb is missing." "Missing? Are you kidding me?" Mrs. Ty's smile instantly vanished, and she recognized the seriousness on Ba's face. "What happened? Tell me." Ba sighed and recounted everything. Mrs. Ty gasped in shock, while Mr. Hiu still took out his phone to type. "Have you reported it to the police?" "Yes, I have, but there wasn't much information. And have you told his family yet?" "I don't dare tell Lamb's family yet. What if they worry too much?" "That's true, don't tell them yet. Sometimes I think he might just be traveling with that girl or something. Let's hope that's the case. If anything happens to Lamb, I'll have a heart attack. All right, don't worry about it too much. Just eat first." After the meal, Ba sat on the porch smoking a cigarette. Mr. and Mrs. Hiu returned to their room past 10 p.m. Back in his room, Ba sighed and collapsed onto the bed. His mind was struggling. Should he open the restaurant tomorrow or not? Lost in such vague thoughts, before he knew it, he slowly drifted off to sleep. The ringing of his phone woke Ba up. He grabbed it, his eyes still not used to the light, unable to see who was calling. "Hello, who is this?" A faint voice answered. It didn't take long for Ba to recognize Lamb's voice. He gasped, his eyes wide, stammering, "Lamb, is that you? How are you? Where are you? A painful groan echoed, and Lamb's voice grew weaker. I'm in so much pain. He could only say this much before the call was cut off. Ba was almost fully awake. What his friend had just said was nothing short of a cry for help. Why? What happened, Lamb? He immediately called Lamb back, but all he got were meaningless beeps. Overwhelmed by worry and anxiety, he got out of bed, hastily put on his jacket, and rushed to the police station. Upon arrival, he gasped for breath as he told the officer on duty, "Help, my friend, please." The police officer quickly approached, helped Ba sit down, and said, "What's wrong, sir? Please calm down. Tell me what happened, and I'll call the other officers." Ba immediately explained everything. After listening, the officer extended his hand. "Can you give me your phone so I can have our technical team check the location from which the call was made?" Yes, here." The officer took the phone, then quickly frowned and asked, "Mr. Ba, when did you receive your friend's call for help?" "Just now, that was the first call." "Then why don't I see anything here?" Ba snatched the phone from the officer's hand and checked it himself. Indeed, there was no record of Lamb in the call history. How can this be? The officer looked at Ba with clear suspicion. Ba, in turn, quickly accused him. "Sir, did you delete it? What are your intentions?" "Mr. Ba, please watch your words. I didn't delete anything. I'm just telling you what I see. If you don't believe me, you can call headquarters to check. Or are you hallucinating?" "What do you mean by that?" The officer immediately picked up his radio and called someone. Very quickly, 3 people in police uniforms approached. "Mr. Ba, we need you to come with us to give a sample." "A sample for what? For drugs? For forbidden substances?" "There are no forbidden substances here, sir. Please just come with us. If you're not using drugs, there's nothing to be afraid of." Ba was furious, but he had no choice but to comply. After providing a urine sample, Ba was taken back to his room. While waiting, he called the service center to check his call history. However, it genuinely showed no record of calls between him and Lamb. But how could that be? He clearly saw it. Around 4 a.m., the urine test results came back. Ba tested negative for forbidden substances, so he was allowed to leave. It was a night with no progress whatsoever. On his way home, Ba tried to think and reassure himself with the thought, maybe I was half asleep, dreaming that Lamb called, and I couldn't distinguish between reality and imagination, so I ran to the station. Upon arriving home, Ba was exhausted and, of course, had no mood to sell anything. He messaged his 2 staff members, telling them the restaurant was closed, then collapsed onto his bed. Time passed quickly. It was already past noon, and he was still lying on the bed. It wasn't until his stomach started to rumble that he finally got out of bed. He intended to go out and find something to eat, so as not to bother Mr. and Mrs. Tai. However, as soon as he opened the room door, the fragrant smell of food wafted into his nose. He whispered, "Oh my God, what smells so good?" It didn't take long for Ba to realize that the fragrant smell was coming from upstairs. Mrs. Tai must be cooking more delicious dishes. But Ba hadn't intended to eat at home from the start, so he quickly went outside, got on his motorbike, and drove off. For lunch, Ba chose a northern pho restaurant, which seemed delicious and was quite crowded. He sat down at a table. Usually, he wouldn't pay much attention to his pants pocket, but for some reason, this time was different. And it was this unconscious act that made him realize his wallet was no longer in its usual spot. He jumped up, frantically searching everywhere. Of course, he didn't find it. He suddenly remembered he must have left it at home. He slapped his forehead and muttered, "Ba, oh Ba, are you going crazy?" So he quickly waved to signal the restaurant owner to cancel his pho order, then rushed home to get his wallet. Upon arriving home, as he opened the gate and stepped in, he saw Mr. and Mrs. Hugh preparing to go out. "Where are you going, ma'am? And where did you just come back from?" "I went out to eat. I was about to call you down to eat with us, but I didn't see you." "Oh, yes, ma'am. I was probably a bit tired of rice, so I just went out for something light." "Oh, all right. We'll be back in a bit, okay, ma'am and sir. We're going to buy a few things." "Yes, ma'am, I understand." Mr. and Mrs. Hugh left, and Ba entered the house. He hadn't felt this way earlier, but now he just thought of getting his wallet and going back to the pho restaurant, and he felt lazy. So Ba collapsed onto the bed and used his phone to order a office lunch delivery. Quite quickly, the meal was delivered within 20 minutes. Ba groggily took out a bowl and chopsticks and began his lunch. And then, as he was eating, he suddenly smelled a burnt odor wafting into his nose, as if something was on fire. Not only that, when he tried to find it, Ba realized the smell was coming from upstairs, on the second floor. Oh no, a fire? This thought quickly made Ba jump up, as he knew Mr. and Mrs. Tai were not home. If there was really a fire, the consequences would be severe. So he immediately ran to the corner of the house, grabbed the fire extinguisher he had bought for the restaurant, and carried it upstairs. Standing in front of the locked door from the outside, Ba once again hesitated. If he called now, he didn't know when Mr. and Mrs. Tai would return. But then, from the crack in the door, a plume of smoke seeped out. There was definitely a fire inside. Without hesitation, Ba raised the base of the fire extinguisher and slammed it hard against the door. The lock broke, and he kicked the door open, rushing in. It wasn't hard to locate the fire, it was in the kitchen. With the extinguisher in hand, Ba sprayed and sprayed. After almost 10 minutes, the flames were finally brought under control. Ba grimaced, trying to clear the smell of smoke, then walked over to inspect. It turned out to be a pot on the stove, charred and with the plastic handle burned away. Mrs. Tai must have forgotten to turn off the stove before leaving. It's really dangerous to have elderly people living alone without their children or grandchildren. If I hadn't forgotten my wallet today and come home, who knows what would have happened. Thinking this, Ba also thanked Heaven and Buddha for protecting him and Mrs. Tai's family. But then, as he was about to turn and go downstairs, he suddenly noticed that a nearby room was also open, with a faint clattering sound like a fan. Did they forget to turn that off too? Fearing that the electrical appliances operating unsupervised might short-circuit and cause another fire, Ba stepped inside. However, as he entered, he was stunned to realize that the fan was no longer the main attraction. Instead, a naked human body was lying on the bed. Lamb, it's really Lamb. His eyes were tightly closed, showing no reaction to Ba's call. Ba rushed over, shaking him and exclaiming, "Lamb, what's wrong with you?" Thinking something was terribly wrong, Ba put his hand to his friend's nose. He breathed a sigh of relief, for his friend was still breathing. But before he could think of the next step, a horrifying scream erupted. Ba felt his scalp tingle and his eyes gradually opened. The world around him seemed to go black. He let out a shriek, collapsed to the floor, and fainted. The dripping sound of water was the first thing Ba heard when he woke up. He vaguely realized he was in a room on the second floor. The horrifying scene before he fainted resurfaced. He tried to struggle and run, but he couldn't. This seemed impossible, for Ba was currently tied to a table leg. A large cloth was stuffed into his mouth, preventing him from making any sound. In the small room next door, two familiar figures appeared, Mr. Hiu and his wife. Mrs. Tai was holding a black handkerchief. She smiled brightly and said, "You're awake, are you?" Ba's eyes widened in horror. "It's no use, my husband and I just want to talk." Mrs. Tai walked closer, pulling away the cloth, muttering, "At this point, my husband and I don't want to hide it anymore. What you saw just now is the soul transference ritual. Your friend is no longer with us. Our son, Tuan, unfortunately passed away in an accident a year ago. That's right. So we rented out the downstairs space. What my husband and I are telling you now is my voice, but it's transmitted through the phone. For an entire year, I've been searching, failing many times. I was about to give up when you two came along, like two big fish taking the bait." "What do you intend to use us for?" Ba asked. "To bring my son back to life. Is that even a question? I spent a lot of money to go to Thailand to learn the soul-swapping spell. Finally, the opportunity came. The night Lamb came back from his date, I saw him sitting sadly downstairs. You were sleeping soundly like the dead inside. I asked around and found out he had broken up with his girlfriend because her family objected. Seizing this opportunity, I immediately comforted him, brought him upstairs, and made him some tea. Of course, he was unsuspecting. That night, I drugged him, tied him up, and performed the ritual." At this, Ba's hair stood on end. What was he witnessing? It's all just a dream. He desperately wished this was true. But unfortunately, there was no dream here. What he was facing right now were two devils, not much different from cannibals. "Are you too crazy? How can you use this method to save your son? Stop it now, you don't know anything. Let me go. Let Lamb go, Lamb oh Lamb." The cloth was once again stuffed into Ba's mouth, but he struggled too much, which annoyed Mr. Hugh. He immediately stepped forward and slapped Ba hard across the face. The cloth fell out of his mouth. Ba continued to scream, "Help! Someone help me!" He thought this would make Mr. Hugh flinch, but no. He even laughed maniacally, and Mrs. Tai chimed in. "This entire floor has soundproofing. You could scream until your throat is raw and no one would hear you." Ba stopped, his eyes staring helplessly at them. He quickly switched to a pleading tactic. "Mrs. Tai, Mr. Hugh, please, I beg you too to let me go. I won't tell anyone. I swear, I swear." "This guy, do you think my husband and I are children? Do you think I'd believe you would leave us alone after knowing your friend was sacrificed for our son?" Mrs. Tai scoffed. "What do you want? Who told you to be so nosy? If you had just kept quiet and lived on your floor, no one would have bothered you. Now, you regret it, but it's too late. You always wanted to find your friend? Let me show you both. You can be reunited." Ba was stunned, his mouth agape. More than ever, he felt like a fish on a chopping block. As night fell, Ba was still tied up. Next to him, Mr. and Mrs. Hugh were still cooking. Life went on as if he didn't exist. Ba was both furious and helpless. Why are these two just tying me up and doing nothing? Just then, another figure appeared from a nearby room. It was Lamb, or rather, Tuin in Lamb's body. He walked slowly, as if getting used to his new body, occasionally making buzzing sounds as if trying to speak. Seizing this opportunity, Ba tried to call out, "Mr. Tuin, please, let my friend go. You're dead, how can you harm others?" "Fool, what do you hope to achieve by saying these things to my son?" Mrs. Tai interjected, cutting off Ba's words. She walked closer, took Tuin's hand and rubbed his joints. "Get used to it, son. Practice speaking more. How does this body feel?" Lamb Tuin didn't answer, just nodded, looking pleased. Witnessing the smiles of the mother and son, Ba shook his head, thinking, "Just kill me quickly if you're going to kill me. I'm so tired." "Don't be so hasty. You won't die that easily. I have a friend whose son also died in a traffic accident. Soon, I'll need you to make a small sacrifice." "What? Are you crazy?" Ba struggled again, for he knew what was coming next for him. He was willing to die, but the thought of having his body taken over by someone else's soul was unbearable. Despite Ba's struggles, Mrs. Tai didn't pay much attention. She stood up and patted her son's shoulder. "Dinner will be ready soon. Go cook your favorite soup, and then our whole family will eat." As it grew late, Ba was now both hungry and tired. Mr. and Mrs. Tai and Lamb Tuin had already gone to bed. Ba took heavy breaths. He could barely feel his hands and feet anymore, having been tied for too long. And then suddenly, the light in the room flared, accompanied by the appearance of Mr. and Mrs. Tai. They were dressed as if expecting guests. And indeed, about 10 minutes later, the doorbell rang. "They're here," Mr. Hugh nodded, stuffed the cloth back into Ba's mouth, and slowly went downstairs. A moment later, he returned with a middle-aged woman, dressed and made up like someone wealthy. Seeing Ba tied up, the woman seemed a bit awkward, but Mrs. Tai quickly spoke up. "Sister Gyuong, what do you think of this boy? Tall, fair-skinned, strong, and healthy. He looks exactly like your son." "Exactly. I had to choose carefully. Oh, if this is successful, the future will certainly be good, not just the 2 billion dong as we initially agreed." Ba, hearing this, sneered. So Lamb and Tuin were just guinea pigs for Mr. and Mrs. Tai. Now that the borrowing a body, swapping a soul spell had succeeded, she was using it to do business, preying on the psychology of the wealthy. And yet, she had pretended all along that she was doing everything just to bring her son back to life. Back to the main point, after discussing and showing Ba's face, Mrs. Tai told her husband to see the woman out while she went to cook. But contrary to the fragrant smell of food wafting into his nose, it was a rather unpleasant, slightly acrid smell. About half an hour later, Mrs. Tai brought a bowl containing a cloudy black liquid to Ba. He shook his head. Mr. Hugh pulled the cloth out of his mouth. Ba's lips were tightly sealed, trying to resist, but all efforts were futile as Mr. Hugh, with the strength of a former soldier, squeezed his cheeks, forcing his mouth open. In this way, the dark, acrid liquid was poured directly down Ba's throat. Mrs. Tai took out a black talisman from her bag, placed it on the table, clasped her hands, and mumbled an incantation. Ba choked on the liquid. Mrs. Tai stuffed the cloth back into his mouth and patted his shoulder. "Be a good boy. Why do you need to open a restaurant and earn money? Soon, you will be the son of a rich family, free to spend and enjoy life." Mrs. Ty's cruel words only made Ba angrier, but there was nothing he could do. 3 days passed, and Ba was continuously forced to drink that magical liquid, accompanied by Mrs. Ty's incantations. Each time he felt his mind become muddled, and he sensed another consciousness coexisting within him. Tonight, after drinking the liquid, Ba began to hear voices echoing in his head. "You are mine. You are mine." He vaguely realized that this was the entity trying to take over his body. Ba gritted his teeth, thinking, "I will resist. I won't let you have your way." However, day by day, Ba felt himself becoming more detached from his own body. And then, as dawn broke, Ba saw the wealthy woman appear again. She was carrying a large bag full of money. Mrs. Tai was still busy offering tea and pastries, not forgetting to announce that the soul-swapping ritual was almost complete. Just one more day, the 4th day, and Ba would officially become her son. The woman walked over and stroked Ba's head, as if he were truly her child. Ba's eyes glared. If he could speak, he would surely curse them all. Rich, but incredibly twisted. Tonight was also when the ritual would be completed. Mrs. Tai held a bowl of medicine that seemed thicker than usual. Its pungent smell was 3 or 4 times stronger than the magical liquid he had been drinking for the past few days. Ba shook his head, but his resistance was useless. After more than 3 days without food or drink, even if Mrs. Tai were to untie Ba, he wouldn't have the strength to escape. "Be a good boy, it will be quick. Just drink this last bowl and all the pain will be gone." Besides Mrs. Tai's voice, the voice inside Ba's head also echoed, "Drink it, drink it." The cloth was removed from his mouth. Ba glared at Mr. Hiu, who was about to pour the magical liquid down his throat. Just then, the door from the inner room opened, and Lam appeared. No, it was Tuan. Mrs. Tai gestured for her husband to stop. "Tuan, it's late. Why are you awake and out here?" "I couldn't sleep," Tuan replied. Tuan's words startled Mrs. Tai. It was understandable. This was the first time her son could speak so clearly and coherently in his new body. "Oh my God, my son is here." Tuan offered a slight smile and walked towards her, extending his arms to hug Mrs. Tai. Witnessing this scene, Ba felt a chill. He could not have predicted what would happen next, even in his wildest dreams. Just as Mrs. Tai was overjoyed, Tuan suddenly snatched the black talisman and slammed it directly into his own chest wound. A loud thud echoed. Mrs. Tai's mouth fell open. "Tuan, what are you doing, Tuan?" Before she could finish speaking, she collapsed to the floor, her hands clutching her throat, foaming at the mouth. Mr. Hiu was no less shocked, collapsing to embrace his wife. As for Ba, horrifying screams echoed in his head. His eyes slowly closed, and the last thing he saw was Tuan walking towards him with a knife in his hand. Ba woke up with a splitting headache. As he gathered his wits, he quickly realized he was in a hospital room, not that hellish room. Not only that, Tuan was sitting beside him. Remembering what happened before he fainted, Ba stammered, "Lam, are you back? Why are you here?" But all he received was a shake of the head. "Excuse me, I am Tuan. Why did I save you? I did it to save my own parents. They had gone too far. I truly struggled with this decision these past few days. The thought of becoming a wandering soul was too much to bear. When I was in a body that wasn't mine, it was incredibly difficult and exhausting. So my parents, they had gone mad. Mad." Tuan nodded. He sighed, then stood up. Who knows how Tuan will live now in Lam's body? And Lam's family, will they ever know that this person is no longer their son? Ba sighed, looking up at the ceiling. Even he was confused, wondering if that wandering soul still existed in his mind, waiting to take over his body. A week later, Ba was discharged from the hospital. He returned to house number 17. The Korean restaurant had officially closed its doors. The second floor was tightly locked. The sounds of laughter and shouts from Mr. and Mrs. Tai's apartment still sent shivers down Ba's spine, but he didn't want to do anything to them because soon they would pay for their actions. His belongings and Lam's things were burned, but he didn't know if Lam's soul had found peace or was still wandering in misery somewhere. As for Tuan, Ba had no intention of exposing him, and even if he did, no one would believe him. So, let nature take its course, he thought. Perhaps living in Lam's body is a form of spiritual torture for Tuan.